Okay, thanks everybody for joining us this afternoon for our session titled Special Events in the City of Durham. Just kidding. The title is Utilizing the ArcGIS Special Event Permitting Solution in the City of Durham. And today we have Kelly Ross from the City of Durham. And she has been a GIS analyst, for 15 years and has worked in several different departments. She has a MA in geography with a certificate in GIS and a BA in sociology from UNCG. She earned her GISP in 2017, and she loves dogs and enjoys hiking, audiobooks, and trying out a lot of different hobbies. So with that, Kelly, I'll turn it over to you. And just before you get started, just a reminder to everybody that this is being recorded and will be on our YouTube channel, so no need to worry about taking notes. And if you do have a question, if you could, go ahead and hit that chat button and pop that open and type those in, and we'll be sure to address those at the end of the presentation. So sorry a little bit about that, Kelly. I got a little ahead of myself, but at this point, take it away.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to this session. Like I said, my name is Kelly Doss. I'm a GIS analyst with the City of Durham. I've been there since 2018. And I was approached in the early fall by the Special Events Review team. They were looking to update their process for permitting special events. And the coworker that approached me, she had been to some of our WebGIS sessions and sort of knew that ArcGIS Online was up and coming with a lot of new solutions, and asked that we look into what was available. We ended up on January 1st deploying the special events permitting and operations solution from ArcGIS Online. And we only implemented the permitting section. We did not do the operations section, and there the police department is going to, once we have some experience with the permitting, they're gonna look at the operations and see if they wanna go that route. But the permitting solution includes a hub site. So we chose to use that over what they previously had. And so this is our new special events website. And I first wanted to show what they did. Their previous process was just using the website vendor, their form center. And they had a form similar to this one that just had basic information that needed on the permit application. And they would submit, an event organizer would submit this form. And then they would just use, the special events review team would just use email and sort of paper-based ways to go about documenting everything. And they just wanted a more streamlined process. And then also the calendar that they were using, this is a similar calendar here. It doesn't show all events going on in a location. If you want to, on this calendar, if you want to view a map of a location, it just gives you a Google link and you can't see all of the locations in one place. Okay, so with the special events hub page, first thing you see is the public calendar. This is an operations dashboard that Esri configured. So this, you can see all of the pending and approved events that are going on. This is, just for the public to see. You can visit a website. No one has elected yet to use the new, where they can create their own interactive event map, but this is where you'd be able to see, if they did so, you'd be able to go in and see this interactive map, and it will zoom right to your event. All right, and the Esri deployed this hub page, and this is the original, and we've modified this a bit, but so you can see it's very similar. We just changed a few things from what they deployed that's included with the solution. One of the things we did want to do is give the event organizers the ability, if they wanted to use the event sitemap creator for planning, and not just have internal people create an event sitemap. And using Hub, we were able to do that. We have a Hub premium account, and the event organizers have the option of following the site and creating a Hub community page using their own email address. And so it doesn't require an ArcGIS Online license. And then once they're signed in, they have access to this page. They can go in and submit a preliminary permit application, which is just a shortened version of the applications, just so we have something to link the sitemap to. And then they can go in and create a sitemap. And so with this, it comes with lots of different special events assets that you can add to your map. They also, in the operations section of the solution, they had some health and safety assets. And so we wanted to add those to this map. This wasn't originally included. So we added these health and safety assets that people can also add in this time of COVID. And then there's also route information and area information. So anyone can just go in here and click and I'll go in and delete that. But so you have ways that you can go in and create a sitemap. Then something we also have available is the special events dashboard. This shows all events, and this is for internal and event organizers to see. You just get a good idea of all of the events going on and some certain filters that people want to see, the stakeholders would like to see. Okay, and so when a event organizer submits an application, we have webhooks set up through Integromat to send this email to the event coordinator here at the City of Durham. And it gives a direct link to be able to go in and open the permit manager. So you can see this only came with the special event, the main permit module. I customized and added in the preliminary events and archived events just for our particular workflow that we wanted to do. So these are all of the permit applications that have been submitted. So when one comes in, you can click and see all the basic information. This is where you can go in and you can edit to the status, some information, and then it also gives you all of the attachments that they put on, and then when comments are made, I'll show you some of those. As comments are made by the special event review team, those are added in. So when a event is submitted and it's initially reviewed, an email is sent through this module down here. There will be a notify reviewer when it's under review. Do that. So here's this notify reviewer. And this is the email again through Integromat that the special event review team receives. And this lets them go in and review that sitemap and the permit application. So it'll go right to your event. You can come in, you'll be able to view the survey that was submitted. And so this is our new permit application. This is done through Survey 123. And we can just go in and all the various categories. So they can, the review team can go in and go through this, change anything that they need to change, and then make their comments and attach those. And again, if there was a sitemap included with this, when you zoom in, you'd be able to see all of those assets. They pop up for the event. And then once it's pending approval, they then get an email sent out to a larger review team. And this is that email. Just lets them know that it's pending approval, and this goes out to the event organizer and a large team where everybody just has an opportunity to review the permit before it's approved. And to be approved, they just have to attach this assigned permit that the event organizer is going to keep with them at the event. Once that's attached, it's approved. And so far, again, this was implemented on January 1st, and the feedback, we're working on a few kinks still with Survey 123 and how things are done, but besides that, it's got excellent feedback. And one of the things I did want to show is the webhooks that we have. Integromat, Survey 123, Esri has it set up right now where webhooks can easily set up through either Microsoft Flow or Integromat. The Technology Solutions Department at Durham had tested Microsoft Flow for some other uses and did not approve its use. So now this is sort of us testing Integromat. The free version of Integromat, you can do 2 active scenarios and 1,000 webhook sort of submissions a month. And so that works for what we need, because all I needed was the 2 active scenarios. So this first scenario is when, and I had never had any experience with this before, and this was actually relatively easy to set up to create this. And so this, when a survey is, a new survey is submitted, you do the Outlook email. And this, you just set this up for who all you want to send it to and what you want the body to say of the message. And then also when this email is sent to the event organizer or sent to our special event review team saying that an event has been submitted, it also sends, and that's what this router is. And these are both doing the same thing. It's just one when it's updated from a preliminary application and one when a new full application is submitted. It will send a copy, a PDF copy of what was submitted on the application to the event organizer. So they have that original document as well with what they submitted to us. And then I also have a scenario set up. My second scenario is just if they do submit a preliminary application to create the event sitemap, they will get an email that says that when they're ready to submit the full permit application, they can click on that link and it will automatically open up the preliminary permit that they submitted to let them fill out the full version. Okay, and with that, I did want to show this is the Try It Live site from Esri. And so this is where you can see, this is where people have created sort of test site maps. You can kind of see the options that you have for the different things that you can create. And most of all of our events so far, the event organizers have just opted to include a PDF copy of their event sitemap, which is fine with us. So. All right, that is specifically what I have. Some other things that this will be able to do in the future for recurring events. Right now, Esri has plans to create a ArcGIS Online notebook with a Python script to automatically create recurring events. That had planned to be rolled out already, but the COVID vaccination suite of apps that they're doing sort of took precedent over that. So hopefully later in the year, they will have a notebook that does recurring events when that is selected on the application. But for the time being, we're just having to manually on the Survey 123 application, you can now go in and copy existing survey. And so we're just doing that and just changing the dates for any future recurring events. And that's mainly, we have these weekly band practices and farmers markets, things like that. So that's how we created all of these, was to just go in and copy those. Anything else? I guess I'm ready if there's any specific questions.
Well, I'm glad your presentation didn't take any longer because this is a very popular topic. We have a number of questions.
Oh, good.
No dead air for you today. I'd like to be a little selfish and start off with one of my own. You were talking about you're using premium. How do you guys plan, or how are you currently handling community members once the event is over? Are you letting them stay active for a period of time, or what's the approach there?
Since it's really event organizers, and we expect, especially for a lot of them, they'll be doing repeat events. We're just keeping them in there. At this point, this is, besides our open data site, which has the option to sign in, this is, I believe, the first hub initiative we've done where people are actually, actively sort of, they can use the site. And so at this point, you initially get, I think it's 1,000 community members. So we haven't even broke 100 members yet.
Right.
So I think once, if that starts becoming a concern, if we really start rolling these out more, we'll probably implement a system of going in and cleaning out community members that don't need to be in there.
Okay, thanks. And we have a question of how often is the data updated? Is it done on a routine basis, or is it immediately updated when an application is submitted? It's immediate.
Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that somebody has that we do have to do is on the, got too many things open. They don't automatically, once an event is passed, it won't show in the calendar anymore, but in the permit manager, you do have to go in and mark that as archived. They don't automatically archive themselves. That would be the only. Gotcha. So for an example, let's see. This event is passed. This event was yesterday, the food pantry event. So actually I can go in here right now and I'll just archive this.
Wow, you're brave. During a demo, no doubt. How can reviewers review the event assets if the organizers do not create a sitemap?
Repeat that.
How can reviewers review the event assets if the organizers do not create a sitemap?
For the, I'll show you. Change this. Let me change this back to what we had. There, if they attach something, let me find one where there might be in a site map. Anything that they've attached is included. That's the original permit. Let me see if I can find a good one. I bet they have it here. If they attach their own map, whether it be a PDF or whatever sort of document they attach, the reviewers will be able to see that. So this just gives like an example route. But that's how they did it before, and they for submitting a map, if they could just submit a PDF copy or something. And so this new event sitemap is sort of at this point just optional. And so we just are going to kind of feel it out and see if people use it. And some of the event organizers have sort of been playing with it and testing it, and they're going to give us some feedback.
Okay. How do you know who has reviewed and who still needs to review?
We have, once they just go in here, we have a team of 6 on our internal review team. And so they just go in here, and you can, when you make a comment,
you can select which department you're with. And so they just go in and put their comments, and then the permit manager goes in and just makes sure that those 6 people have put their comments in, and then all of them approved it.
Okay. And just a couple more here, if you can withstand it. Have you got, I know this is in its early days of implementation, but have you happened to have already started thinking about how to implement a payment system along with this solution, so you could take the payments for the permit applications at the same time or as part of the same workflow?
These for us, each permit application, there's not necessarily an application fee. It just sort of depends on what you're using. And so for like facility rental and things like that, we have, go back to over here. This is the first thing that oh no, well, I'm gonna have to tell them that does not work. There's a guideline PDF that they can open, and it tells them, and it gives them, and it also down here are frequently asked questions. There's different, depending on what there is, there's different sites where they have it set up already to pay those application fees and stuff that they need to pay.
Okay. And then of a little bit less technical, more general nature, can you just give a quick primer on how special event planning and permitting worked in Durham itself?
I guess just sort of a general.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know that much about the fine details, but it's really just if a special event permit is needed, if a city facility is going to be used, or if a road or sidewalk is going to be closed, I believe is the parameters for them having to get a special event permit. So for example, on our calendar, a lot of our events are like church events. And I was told that those actually would not normally be on the calendar, but because those church services they're using a parking garage to do those services right now. So that's why they had to get a special event permit.
Okay, and just one last question, a little bit back on the technical side, is you went into speaking about webhooks and Integromat and that sort of thing. Did that work fluidly? And I know you said it seemed like the learning curve wasn't tremendous, but did you experience any hiccups with that at all, or did it just go really smoothly and everything just worked and you were happy?
Coming in with no experience with any of this, I have been very, very happy. In this one, the only thing that I was not able to set up myself, just through playing with it and just doing some basic Google searches on how to do some different things, is this what I'm showing you right here, this JSON parser and this HTTP call. So what this is doing is getting a unique permit number and including that link, and that's how they get a event specific link. And so this was just done on a query through the REST service for the feature layer. And then I had to have our GIS developer just sort of help me with a little bit of these calls. And then also how to do this JSON parser. But outside of that, everything has gone very smoothly. The only issues that I did have is I did receive some emails, and I think it was just like a server timeout. It sends you emails whenever anything goes wrong. And so even though the application was successfully submitted, I guess in the middle of it, there was a timeout. And so it let me know that. That's the only thing that I've run into so far that has been an issue for me personally. The only other thing is I originally set these up on here, I'll open one of these up. This has to be set up on the account of the person who is going to be sending the email. So originally this was done on my account. And I actually had to remote into Rose's computer and go into Integromat and just set it up on her computer so that it would open her Outlook and send from her. So that was the only other thing that just caused a little bit of a hiccup along the way. But besides that, I found it very, very intuitive.
Great. Okay, well, anybody else have any questions? If so, go ahead and shoot them our way. We got a couple more minutes here. While we wait to see if one or two more filter in, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today, and especially thank you for that presentation. It's only been up for what, a little over or almost 2 months now, and it's pretty impressive and a lot of potential you can see already. I'd just like to remind everyone. Oh, go ahead.
One thing while I'm looking at this, one thing I did want to bring up, and this is one of the things we're working out with with Esri right now, and sort of why this is happening and what I can do, is it doesn't like punctuation in the event name very much because of some of the URL encoding that it has to do when it's doing event specific URLs. So for example, this Renee and Morgan baby shower, it was originally with an ampersand for the and that was causing the links to be messed up. And they weren't working correctly. So that is some things as people are doing things and saying, wait, this didn't work right. We're having to go in and just make some small changes and work out some kinks. And we're letting Esri know about them as we go so that they can work out those same kinks in their system.
Well, we're thankful for that because your pain will be our pleasure when they get that corrected. Okay, well, again, just thanks everybody. There aren't any more questions, so we'll go ahead and start wrapping up. Just a reminder that all the sessions are going to be on YouTube here in just a few weeks, so be sure and be on the lookout for that. If you haven't had a chance to vote for your favorite poster for the poster contest, please take a few minutes this afternoon. The voting closes at 6, I believe, or 6:30, so don't miss out on that. We do have more sessions coming up here the rest of the afternoon, so hope you get to enjoy those. And thank you guys for attending.
Thank you, everyone.